Night story. I experienced this about 2 years ago. Before the event, I should clarify that my mother claims that many years ago she was a victim of witchcraft and that they also placed a death spirit on her back. It had never manifested beyond muscle pain and sudden bouts of tiredness. Honestly, I don't know how these kinds of things work. My mother spent a long time going to healing services, doing penances, fasting, and whatever else they told her at church to defeat that evil that was haunting her. However, she never had severe symptoms, didn't get sick, nor experienced strange or paranormal events. It was more like a normal, everyday life. Over time, she wanted to leave that episode behind, which, although it never manifested, still caused her anxiety and fear. She found a steady partner with whom, at first, she felt insecure but still tried to maintain a normal relationship. This led her to become a person who spoke very little unless she was drinking, an activity she started doing more frequently, which perhaps triggered everything and led to the event I'm going to tell you about. It was September 23rd, around 2:30 a.m. I was sleeping in my room. My mom was out with her partner at some kind of party or gathering in the street, drinking. Suddenly, I felt them arrive, but since I never liked my mom drinking, I stayed in bed paying attention to everything I heard. My younger sister got up to try to convince her to go to sleep because sometimes they stayed drinking at the house. I heard my mom laughing, but in a way that was unusual for her, like someone else laughing. At that moment, I had a bad feeling. Something in the atmosphere was different. So I went out to see what was happening, and what I found still gives me chills when I remember it. My sister was standing at the hallway entrance, frozen with fear, while my mom was sitting in a rocking chair in the living room. You could barely see her face by the light from the open door in the bedroom, which illuminated half her body. She was unrecognizable, with swollen bloodshot eyes as if holding her breath, her face red, hair messy, veins bulging on her neck and forehead as if about to burst. She was there staggering with a lost look, laughing loudly, but it was not her laugh. You could clearly hear another person's laughter. I remember shouting anxiously, "Mom, what's wrong?" And she just turned, looked at me and kept laughing while pointing at me. It was worse when I tried to get closer. I always carry a blessed crucifix on my chest. She grabbed her hair and put her head between her legs, repeatedly saying no with that terrifying voice. I remember that about a meter away from her, there was another empty rocking chair. When I took 2 more steps, that chair began to move as if someone was shaking it strongly from the backrest. It shook about 5 times until it overturned completely, fell to the floor and hit the wall. Then my mom's partner, who was in the bathroom, came out confused, grabbed her by the back, hugged her and started praying, but it didn't help. My mom kept laughing, writhing and trying to grab us. I held her shoulders and told her to look at me, that I was there with her, but it was as if she didn't know who I was, even trying to bite my arms. My sister ran out of the house to call a neighbor who was a pastor. The man arrived with a Bible and holy water, rebuking as we held my mom down on the floor so she wouldn't hurt herself. Among other things, she kept saying to let her go or she would kill her. "Let me go or I kill her, let me go or I kill her," many times. I don't know how long that episode lasted, but it was horrible. There was a pressure hard to explain. Even the lights in the living room fan stopped working that day, they got confused. My mom lost consciousness and while unconscious started vomiting a lot of thick yellow slime that smelled terrible. After a few minutes, she regained consciousness but said she didn't remember anything that had happened. She remained for several months with a lost gaze, sometimes talking to someone and then staying silent, staring off for several seconds, looking blank as if she forgot things. It was during those days that she resumed praying and promised to stop drinking, but she was always nervous. I saw her walking from the living room to the kitchen, making small jumps like she was constantly terrified. One night I got up to pee and heard her praying. Her voice was broken, almost crying. I thought not to peek since prayer is a private moment and should be respected, but something, I don't know what, told me to do it. I think my sister felt the same because she came to the hallway after a while, asking if mom was okay. We stayed at the door for about 5 minutes, then decided to open it just a little. We just wanted to see if she was okay. What we saw first was the mirror next to the bed, from which we saw her by reflection, or rather her shadow, because the room was dimly lit. She was kneeling in front of her bed, and behind her was something else, a woman standing, walking back and forth like trying to do something to her. We went in right away and the figure disappeared, but my mom didn't react. She remained there kneeling, clinging to her prayer. That's when we decided to kneel with her and pray too. We felt all kinds of things. For example, I heard a voice behind me telling me to shut up, but I tried to ignore it. At one point, my sister, maybe overcome by fear, started crying and saying, "No, no, leave me alone," but my mom and I hugged her and encouraged her to keep praying. We stayed there for hours. I've never had such a long night. The lights would turn on and off, the bed would shake, the door would slam until, I don't know when, the three of us felt a kind of relief in our chest, opened our eyes and started crying hard. I remember that moment. My mom recovered completely. One day while showering she noticed a small wound on her back, as if someone had stuck the tip of a knife in her to extract something. Days later we found a tiny bag full of ashes in her room, which a friend explained was the container of the spirit they had put on her. We don't know how they do these things to people or why some people are evil, but we do know that love and prayer can overcome everything.